The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life BBQ podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life BBQ podcast. I'm Johnny Maggs, coming to you from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July.
I did.
Today is the 5th. You are technically on vacation.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Because...
And I'm phoning in right now.
All right.
From North Carolina.
Pull the curtain back. We're pre-recording this episode because Chrissy's going on vacation, and the 4th of July is on a Monday, so everyone knows I work for the post office, and I've always had an issue with days after holidays getting here to make the show after a Monday holiday. So we decided we're going to try to record one for it. So if I don't shout you out in the chat, that's why, because technically it's not happening yet.
I feel like we could do it anyway. Like, hi, Kent. Hi, C-Mac.
You've all been through this
Hi,
all
Junior Selena.
through the December episodes anyway. But yeah, we nice enough to be joined today by Kell Phelps of BBQ News Magazine and the NBBQA.
I'm going to bring him in just a minute.
In just a minute, but let's get into everybody that makes this show possible. Brought to you today by Uncle Steve's Shake. Chrissy, you ever wonder why people are lined up in your yard, but your neighbor's yard, who's having a barbecue also, nobody's coming? Why is that?
Because I'm using Uncle Steve's Shake and they're not.
That's right. Uncle Steve's Shake uses some of the best ingredients on the market today to come up with his entire line of 12 seasonings, including the competition line, the dessert shake.
Yes.
Ooh.
I love that thing.
Uncle Steve has incredible customer service.
That's because it's him.
That's because it's him. He answers the phone. If you got any questions on shake or any shake question at all, if you could dial that number, you're getting Uncle Steve himself.
Just say hi.
The CEO, the vice president, the HR to the janitor. He
COO.
does it all. But UncleSteveShake.com, get all your shakes and everything he has in his swag right there. Don't forget his... Join the Facebook group, Uncle Steve Shake Nation, for exclusive deals, discounts, and giveaways. Yeah. The other stuff than you'll find here. So join that. Great. Post your pictures using your shake. And UncleSteveShake.com. Shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether I'm barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling thanks to our friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today I am still smoking the Bandolero Firecracker, which has been sold out for a couple weeks.
By now?
About 2 weeks by now.
Definitely.
You know, but thanks to TwoGuysCigars.com, I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2. GuyCigars.com. Also brought to you by Backline Fabrication and Backline Smokers. Ryan Newland is building some of the craziest pits coming out of Austin, Texas today. Yep. If you can think it, Ryan can build it. From a 250 to a 500 gallon to a 1,000 gallon to his multi-tool creation charcoal grill, plancha, Santa Maria combo, and there's something else that's involved in it that you can cook with. Wild stuff. Ryan has conversations with you throughout the entire build process, and he'll take questions he asks you and incorporate it into your pit. So there'll be things on your pit that you didn't even think you wanted, but he knew from the conversations. Check him out, Backline Fab, on all social medias, and check out what he's doing. Incredible stuff. That's Backline Fabrication and Backline Smokers. Also brought to you by Magna Chef Gloves. Our brother Al Infante knows a little something about fire management, and he is a Miami-Dade firefighter. So he has thought these gloves from the ground up, incorporated all his thoughts and knowledge into these gloves made of 100% food-grade silicone, patented magnetic clips for an easy on-off. You will not drop your glove.
No.
It clips right in place. Boom, easy back on. Heat rated up to 500 degrees. Web fit for a firm grip. One size fits all. Dishwasher safe. More importantly, made right here in the USA. Get yourself a pair or 2 or 3. One for the barbecue trailer, one for the backyard, one for the kitchen. They're incredible. They're incredible. You're not going to, nothing's going to slip out of your fingers. Check them out at magnachef.com. That's Magna with an E, chef.com. And at checkout, use the code ROYAL21, as in American Royal, Royal21, for 15% off your purchase. Tell them I sent you. Magnachef.com. Master your fire. And also brought to you by Custom Cutting Boards, RS.com. Ian Hemming out of Magnolia, Texas, is building what I refer to as the Yeti of cutting boards. I've had my boards for going on 4 years now, and these boards take an absolute beating, and they hold up. They take it, and they still look pristine. Made of 100% dishwasher safe, high condensed UV protection, comfort sliding protection, the rubber nubs on the bottom, so even on a wet surface, your board will not slide. Multicolors available, deep lip reservoir to catch all those wonderful juices coming out of all the proteins that you're cooking. The standard dishwasher safe board, so you standard countertop board, to the massive brisket board, 36 by 18, and the new to the market, his pizza board for that perfect slice every time. Check them out at customcuttingboardsrs.com. That is the letter R, us.com. So today we are going back for a guest who, it's been way too long. It was in our first year of the show, and the show's been rolling, and he's been rolling through the whole thing. Some new ventures involved, so it was time to have him on. He was able to join us. Joining us today out of Douglas, Georgia, the founder of BBQ News Magazine, and also now of the NBBQA, Mr. Kell Phelps. Kell, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Johnny May, man? It's been too long. You're right.
Too long, brother. Too long. How you been? How's everything with you?
We're good, man. Summer has arrived here in South Georgia, so it is hot, man. But hey, we just appreciate you guys having us, and man, hard to believe that was the first year.
Yeah,
you guys were starting out, but yeah, man, huge fans, and we've been watching you guys smoke right on all this time.
Absolutely,
so.
Appreciate that. How's Miss Janet?
Oh, she's good, man. She's keeping me straight. You know how that is.
Oh,
that's full time and then some there. So
they gotta hold the reins on us, keep us on the straight and narrow. You know, we get off track quite easily.
That's it. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Miss Janet keeps the reins pulled tight, no doubt.
That is fantastic. So, like I said, brother, thank you so much for taking the time. I hit you up last week, and you were actually fresh off of coming back from Denver of the event, the big event this weekend out there. How was that?
Man, that's the coolest thing I've seen in a while. It's so good, man, to see everybody back out, you know, the big crowds, festive type stuff. Probably close to 65,000 people came through there in Denver. And man, those guys they've got a unique deal happening there. They're partnering up with the NFL teams. This one was with the Denver Broncos. They already do with Jacksonville Jaguars down in December, I believe, is when that event's slated. And they just got done Mother's Day there in Kansas City at Chiefs Stadium. But yeah, Wabi and those guys, they've got a pretty good set on what's happening. I think this is their 8th one. They do Q in the Loose coming up in St. Louis, a little different venue there, but it's hooked in with the Cardinals in their last homestand.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, man, they got some big things happening, and so we went out and helped Todd Johns with Plowboys out of Kansas City. Yep. Helped him with his booth, and man, caught a red eye. I knew better to do this, but deal ended Sunday afternoon, and I caught a red eye back that night coming back home, and so you lose 3 hours in that little transition, and the flight's about 3 hours. So you leave at midnight, you get home about 7, and you sleep about 2 hours on the plane if you're lucky.
Yeah, so. And then right back up at it because the sun's up, you're up, you know. Oh, man.
So, so I'm looking forward to this coming weekend. Maybe I can catch back up a little bit, but
nice. Yeah, there's just so much. And like we said, we start with, the BBQ News Magazine. How's all that rolling? Because now we're in the technology age, of, either, I'm old school and I just happen to grab a copy. This happens to be April of 2021. But I'm an old school guy. I like the copy in my hand, flip through. I have hoarding tendencies, if you will. So there's a giant stack in one of my barbecue toolboxes in the garage, and I can go back and reference different things. But how's the magazine rolling for you?
Man, the magazine is rolling. It's really crazy that how the pandemic deal was good to us. We were really scared about all that, like everybody else was. Some of the restaurants, man, are still fighting some of that stuff, trying to recover and get back to if there ever will be a normal or whatever. But yeah, man, a lot of people found us, checked us out, subscribed, and we just going crazy with the digital side of it. I tell people every day, I said, to be 51 years old, I feel like a kid going back to school every day, trying to learn something new on the digital side of things. But the print deal is still there, man. We're still printing about 4,500 a month. We're doing about 55, 60,000 a month on the digital side. And so our reach is growing. And that was one of the reasons we partnered up with these guys with the big barbecue festivals now, able to get out and shake some hands, kiss some babies, and spread the good news about BBQ News Magazine for sure, man.
Oh, absolutely. Because, we met through Messy Mike when Mike was on the show with me when we first started. And he goes, "Oh, man, you need to get into BBQ News Magazine." I'm like, "BBQ News Magazine? Hold on. What is this you speak of?" And, he threw me a copy, and I'm like, "Oh, I've been hooked ever since." Because it covers so much. You have your contributors, your monthly contributors. Oh, yeah. One in particular is our good friend Ray Sheehan of Barbecue Buddha, who, strangely enough, I can't even say strangely is enough run. Deservingly enough, thank you, is opening his own restaurant in the New Egypt area of New Jersey, which is fantastic because Ray's recipes are awesome between these two cookbooks and everything. But Ray has been a contributor for many years now and always has a recipe every month. And, this one was this smoked Scotched eggs,
Yeah.
And then...
So, man, I tell you, without those contributors like Ray, I mean, Ray's been a staple for a long time, man. And it has been so cool to see how he has, went from just a rub and the sauce guy to now. I mean, he is mainstream. He's got his hands in all of it. And like you said, even the new restaurant coming, man, I am so excited to see what's coming. But yeah, man, our contributors, every one of them, whether it's Meathead Hall of Fame, Artie Davis Hall of Famer, down to Christy Jones, competitor, her dad. A lot of people don't know who her dad is. Danny Montgomery, was with several world championship teams back through the years, and just a great group of guys. And there's so many of them. Vic, Clever,
Vic Clevenger,
man. Yep. They just, without those guys, we wouldn't be who we are. So hats off to those guys. And all I do is just kind of put it all in a pot, stir it up, and pour it out every month for you guys.
Yep. And another contributor, Mr. Ben Arnott, out of Australia, from the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. You guys were doing a lot with guys like us, like me. We were honored to have been featured in the magazine on Talks of the Podcast, and they did different. He was highlighting different podcasts throughout. Like this one is our friends Matt and Ryan from the BBQ Talk Show out of the UK. Right. I know there was one with Len and Jeff from Baseball and Barbecue podcast.
Yeah,
it was great. Great write-ups.
Done with those guys, man. That was cool. I was an athlete coming up, so I was honored to do that deal with those guys, and they were had their first Hall of Famer. Yeah. We did that. Yeah, Jim Cott, man. Yeah. When I was a kid, I watched him strike out many guys. So that's pretty cool. And being able, like you say, man, we're diverse. We try to handle it, man. Diverse group of barbecue grilling guys. A lot of people get hung up on the old school barbecue deal and all that, man. But it don't matter if it's cooking with fire, man. We want to talk about it and
for sure,
share with them and take them all in.
For sure. And like you said, there's so many contributors, and the articles are fantastic. But getting into barbecue, and if you're interested in events or festivals or even the competition circuit, it on every issue. There's the word. Jesus, what is wrong with me today? Every issue in the back, you have all the barbecue list of all the events from cooking schools, in Central Texas, Florida Barbecue Association, IBCA Judging School, KCBS, Georgia Barbecue Association, NBBQA, which we'll get to in a minute, NEBS, Lone Star. It's the list of all the competitions, SCA competitions, judging schools, cooking classes, cooking schools that might be in your area or, somewhere close, you're willing to drive, maybe a little bit to go. They'll have all that information, contact numbers, emails, which is a tremendous tool to have, if you're looking for certain things in the barbecue world. And, Kell and his team bring it to you every month, right there in your mailbox or in your inbox on your phone now, however it all comes out. Which is fantastic.
That calendar of events is what started BBQ News, man. My dad
and
his cook partner, they were they had a little team called the Smokehouse, and entered a little local event and won, man, and they were hooked. So that's kind of how we got into the barbecue world. And Mom owned the local newspaper here in town. Dad owned the printing press. So back in 1990. This was before all this digital stuff come about. They decided, hey, look, we need to barbecue's growing. We need to do some type of newsletter, monthly deal to let people know what's happening, when it's happening. And that's how it started. And to this day, man, believe it or not, on the website and in the magazine, on the digital, get more clicks there. People checking out the calendar of events than any other thing we do. So pretty cool how that all happens. In 30 years, it's still what our roots, what we were founded on, still kicking. So.
That's what it is. Keeping it how it's always been. Keeping that nostalgia alive with everything, the new technology coming up. You don't want to forget the roots.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
And how has the rubs and sauce yearly competition, the rubs of honor and sauce, that's the one?
Yeah, man. Still happening like crazy.
How has that grown? Because, like I said, it's been a few years since we've had you on. So it
seems like every year now we're breaking records. It really is. It's almost scary when you think about what we do and how we do it. But the sauce, we do those guys every spring. We do the rubs in the fall. So we finished up the sauce contest back in March, and the rubs will be coming here in October, November. I average somewhere around 350 each. And I think it's what's really made it successful is because it's so different. We try to go and search the best rub to go with one protein. We're not dividing all the sauces up into how they're based, or whether it's a mustard base or a tomato based or vinegar based. We just want to see what is the best sauce that goes with chicken or the best rub that goes with chicken. And we've added the one category, the seafood, to it. So now we're 4 categories for each event, and it's seafood. We do a shrimp, but now the rubs, I tell you, the rubs take a little longer because we prepare each protein that gets judged with their seasoning on it, and before it goes out to the judging table. So with 350, 400 different varieties of pork, steak, or chicken, or shrimp. That's a major undertaking there.
So. For sure.
And we get our Magna gloves, get a good workout when we do that.
Oh, for sure. And like I said, what you were saying, it just gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
The mail delivery must love you. Certain times of the year,
You would be amazed, man. Our mail carrier is, man, she's something special, but now she's always looking out for us. So we always, at the end, when we've got some left, a lot of times we'll pile it up and then we'll carry it to the fire department or whatever with those guys and share it with them. But we always make sure to save her a few good ones. And she actually grills, believe it or not.
Oh, perfect.
So we've hooked her up with a comp subscription so she can see all the recipes and all that stuff. But we got to take care of her. But without folks like that, man, watching out for us, it would be much more difficult, without a doubt.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, guys, check it out, bbqnews.com. Order, sign up. However you'd like. If you'd like the hard copy like I do, you can get that. If you like the online version, you can get that too, to get your subscription in. And you won't be disappointed. Like I said, it's fantastic. Each issue is just chock full of so much information. Actually doesn't do it justice about what you can get out of each issue. They really do a fantastic job. But not only do you have your hands full with this, you've branched out just this year on the NBBQA. the National Barbecue and Grilling Association. Now it's the Grilling Association. But like you don't have enough time on your hands?
Well, man, to be honest with you, we've had our hands in NBBQA for a long time.
Yeah.
So I grew up in all this. Our backstory, it starts all with my dad and my mom. They both started BBQ News with our cook partners, the Gillis family here out of Douglas, 1990. And then as we got going, they both saw the need, Doc Gillis and Dad, the need for a group to help mentor some of these that were getting into the barbecue world. And so they got a bunch of guys together. And actually, 1991, we're founding members of the National Barbecue and Grilling Association. So we've been on the back side of it. I was personally printing newspapers when I was younger. And then even when 2002, when we took over and I bought BBQ News Magazine from Daddy and Doc, very first thing I did was make sure that the membership stayed with NBBQA, and fortunate enough to be a past president with those guys back 2010, 11, somewhere around there. But I've always been a huge proponent of those givers. It's just a bunch of guys who have decided, hey, I want to see what true barbecue's about. So that's where they come in, and they get to chat and network with those guys who've been there and done that before. And it helps them in their journeys. And as those journeys go and grow, they're able to share their knowledge. And man, that's what really and truly is NBBQA is all about. And as everybody's network grows, you know how that is. We all grow.
Yeah.
When we're a part of that deal. So the competition side of things, those superstars is who we actually tap into to teach and share that information. Even the ones who in the business side who are superstars, those are the ones that are our key givers. I guess you want to call them givers because that's exactly what they are. Those are the ones that are embracing the new members who are coming in, wanting to learn and see how things are done. And, you'd be amazed at some of the ideas that the new ones bring to the table.
Yeah.
And when we do the round table networks, networking stuff and all that, man, that's what it's all about. No doubt.
Oh, for sure, because like you said, you have the yearly annual conference every year for the NBBQA, and Messy Mike was always like, "Yeah, I'm taking off this week, and we're going down to the conference," and he was blown away. And when we were talking, that he was actually asked to be a group panelist on one of the on one of the topics of. It was someone with like the food trucks and trailers.
Food truck, man.
And he's been running the trailer the past couple of years. Phenomenal. So he's he goes, I can't believe it. He goes, who the hell am I? Compared to some of the other people who are up there or, who are asked to be a speaker on a certain thing. He goes, I'm just a guy from New Hampshire. He goes, and I'm in the forefront on it. And, he was truly honored and humbled by it, so, he doesn't take anything for granted, for sure.
Right. Messy Mike may talk like that, but let me tell you something. When you go see his food truck run, and I've seen it. I've seen the lines out, and I've seen the smiles that come when people are spending money with him, buying his food, and it is super good, and they come back again and again and again. He understands how it works, and what's so cool is he's able to share that, willing to share that information with others.
Yeah,
and that was one of the biggest classes we had at NBBQA. Huge success deal there with SDG trailers.
Yeah,
and basically what we did then with that panel, I mean, we had Stretch
Yeah.
Come out of Kansas City, a pizza guy.
Yeah, grinders, yeah.
Yeah, but, one of the things he said, made all beautiful sense. It was just perfect. Fit right in. If you don't have you may be a pizza guy, come from the slums or whatever, down dirty, slinging out 1,000 pizzas an hour. But when you get in a food truck, if that food truck isn't sharp and clean looking, when it goes into a neighborhood, that thing's going to sit empty with a while if it's still got pizza sauce and barbecue sauce hanging all over it.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure, clean it up, make it look good, make it look nice. Even if you take, flat black can of paint and cover up the rust.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, those guys together did an awesome job. And that's just one of about 20 different conferences at the conference. That was one of about 20 different sessions that we had there.
Yeah. Now, how long does the conference usually run? A couple days, over a weekend?
3 days.
3 days?
We ran. We try to do it a little different. Because we're working with a lot of professionals. We do a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday event. And we're probably going to go a little earlier in the year coming up this year. Last year was our first year back out of COVID deal. So it made it a little, we were running a little bit late, honestly, but yeah, so we usually go for 2, maybe 3 days. Sometimes we try to have a public day, which we'll probably try to do again. And then that'll be on the weekend. We try to have that on the weekend. So we'll probably go like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday deal, something like that. We always try to have a bus tour, which is we hadn't had in a while. We didn't have that this year, so we were only like a 3-day conference this year. But matter of fact, for the first time ever, man, we videoed every one of those sessions. So if somebody's wanting to go and watch the sessions and see and learn what, maybe a topic or whatever, something they're interested in, you go to NBBQA now. It's a virtual conference, and check that out. It's there, and it cost about half of what the normal conference was.
Cool.
So, yep.
Cool. So with all the, with the magazine info, the NBBQ info, what are a couple nice little nuggets of dropping a little knowledge of anything big upcoming, or some people or some restaurants to keep an eye out for just getting in?
Man, I tell you, the grill business is hot. I mean, I know a lot of people, the economy and all that stuff's got things kind of dampered down, but basically what we saw during the pandemic was the grill and grilling industry boomed. As people stayed home, they were cooking, so they were trying new rubs and sauces, ton of new rubs and sauces. So now, some of my good friends, all-stars, barbecue all-stars, Melissa Cookston, Heath Riles, Malcolm Reed, those guys now are in Lowe's. Even Myron has got his stuff in there now. So huge display in my local Lowe's. And I'm, it may be in a different, you go into a big city type Lowe's, it may be a little different, but those guys are everywhere now. And so it's great to see all the new stuff coming. And there will be more of that. But these guys who bought their first grill and learning to cook and grill during the pandemic, now they're 2 years into this.
Yeah.
So they're looking at trying their hands at some of these Argentina grills, some of these other things. But the one I've seen coming out of Canada, this guy he's sold about maybe 6,000 units across the world. But he's just now coming into the U.S., but it's Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Man, and I have seen a couple of his things, and I am excited about what this fella is putting out. And I've definitely got the radar on him and helping him out any way I can, because I want to get one of those big tune deals where you can hang meat at the same time with a flat grill,
Yep.
The thing is you got to be careful because, you don't see all the nightmares where those big high dollar roast flare up and start burning.
Oh, yeah.
But man, natural, when you cook meat straight over a fire that way with seasonings, man, you can't duplicate that flavor no matter what you do. So
No, you can't.
I'm excited to watch some of those guys for sure.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing with the young guys. It's the innovation, and nowadays, with all the platforms and avenues we have, social media wise, it used to be okay. But back in the mid 2000s, it used to just be the barbecue chat rooms.
Right.
Then it came with like Greg Rempe starting the Barbecue Central show. Paving the way for us to do, Pit Life, Barbecue Talks, Messy Mike and Big Dan with the Barbecue Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Doing that, and then social media with, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else is on the horizon, has just, no pun intended, has sparked a fire under the, barbecue and grill and cooking community,
Indeed.
and it's the youth with a different way of looking at it because, barbecue traditionally has always been that low and slow. But then all of a sudden you start hearing this hot and fast method. Well, who came out with that? Oh, it was a young guy. Well, I bet I could cook this in less time if I bumped it up just not crazy, just slightly. And then it catches fire, it catches on. Then a lot of the traditional guys start going the hot and fast route. And then, pellet grills have changed the landscape probably the most because of you don't have to sit there and, completely understand the fire management. You don't got to throw a split on every hour or 45 minutes, however your cooker likes to run. You can.
Man, this is crazy. I can remember, and this has been a long time ago, but this is, mercy. It's one of the first TV shows that come on. But Myron and those guys, when they would go and cook their briskets, they would come and prep at an event, and then they'd go to the motel and get 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours sleep. They'd show up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they'd light the fire, and they were competing hot and fast. A lot of people who watched them realized that. But now, that was the first time I saw it, cook a 12, 14-pound brisket in about 4.5 hours. And never forget, and that worked on one of the television shows he was on early on, they were like, no, there's no way. There's no way he's going to beat us. And he was down in Texas, and sure enough, he won brisket that day with like a 4.5 hour honking brisket. And I was like, you go, boy. Georgia boy showing up. But I think that's what's so cool, man. There's no one way that is correct.
Yeah.
And that's why you got 10,000 flavors of sauce and 10,000 flavors of rub because, apparently that guy thinks it's pretty good, no matter what my opinion is. And we've all been there in the competition and, we've all had straight nines across. Then there was this one guy who didn't like us at all. So, but there's enough of those one guys around to make us all legit somehow, some way. So that's what I love so much about barbecue. Probably why I'll never be a real good competitor because I'm one, man, I want to try it.
Yeah.
It's new. Yeah, man. Let me try it. So even the Magna Chef gloves, man, I remember those guys when they first come out, it was oh, but they look so big and they're all, but I said, no. When we tried them, they're soft silicone. You can still grab with them. Man, we were super impressed with that product, and it never ends, there's something coming out all the time, and that's what we love.
Oh yeah,
seeing, trying, and doing. So
because how many years now has grill grates been out?
Oh yeah,
and grill grates is a staple for anybody who's who's grilling now. They make them for officially. They make them for everything now. I even think they make an insert for the air fryers now.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely, man. We were man. The National Barbecue Festival we did here in Douglas way back when. That was his first event, Brad and them. And Mike Mills caught hold of that thing and he was like, man, this thing's going to change. This thing, a lot of people is going to get help in the barbecue world from this. Because, early on, it helped. One of its big selling points was it stopped flare-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody, most barbecue guys been around a few years, has got the fire management thing figured out now. So we're turning that thing over on the back using our charcoal grills as a griddle.
Yeah.
And the flat side of that thing, so they're throwing pellets down in the valleys now, making that thing smoke.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the same exact product, but it's right. The young guys, somebody playing around with it, and now they got them in air fryers. So
yeah, it's wild, but it's just those innovations that that keep the tradition alive. Because that's what it was. It was originally barbecue was the lesser cuts of meat. Right. And you had to cook it low and slow. To break down everything to make it tender. So it's that innovation, but keeping the tradition alive along with the innovation, not forgetting where the roots are.
Right.
And that's what makes it beautiful. Because you can go to, hell, even the competitions now, listen to the guys who've been in it for years, we were talking with Cosmo, we were talking with Darian, and he's like, when I first started, man, no one would talk to you.
Right.
Nobody. Never mind, ask them for a knife. You're lucky if you got a hello. But, nowadays it's like, what do you need? Oh, yeah, this is how I do it, and this is blah, blah, blah. They'll give you everything. You still got to pull it off, but...
Man, I think that's the thing. Enough people have done the cooking classes and shared what they did, and they've learned that, this is how I do it. But there's so many different small nuances that I do that it don't matter what I share, it's going to come off different when he does it.
Yeah.
Even if he's using the same grill, same charcoal, same seasonings, there's going to be something he's doing a touch different from what I'm doing that I'm okay to show and share. And that's what makes competition so tough, man. I've been watching some of the KCBS stuff here lately, and Clark's crew.
Yeah.
It's been a while. He took a little while off with the restaurant and a couple things, and man, we watched Travis now. Good gosh, everything he touches, man. I think even this weekend they were talking about him in Denver. He had won another one, and but those are the things, those some guys. And I think those that do it very well are so detail oriented. They do those little itty bitty details every time they cook. And those are the ones that are there day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I'm the one, I got to be careful, man. I got to keep squirrels out of the trailer because I'll be the one chasing squirrels and meat getting too hot or, and those little details go away. They fade real fast. But that's what's so cool to, what those, and I guarantee you, Travis, I know, matter of fact, I know he's done some classes. I know he's took some folks under his wing. He said, yeah, I'll show you what I do. But because there's a few things he does every time. That's, I think, what keeps those guys so consistent.
Yeah.
Day in and day out.
Absolutely. Well, Kell, we are up against it, unfortunately. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. I promise it's not going to be as long as it was in between this time. But thank you so much for taking the time to join me, talk about barbecue news, talk about NBBQA, and a little bit of everything in between. Great catching up with you. Send my love to Miss Janet. Keep up everything you got going.
And hey, come see us in Pennsylvania. We'll be up there with NBBQA at Big Dan's.
Yeah, Big Dan's for the CA. I think he was saying it was a triple this year.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, so we'll be there. He's doing an NBBQA badge right there in the middle of August too. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, come see us, man. You get a chance. But yeah, anytime you get ready, dog, I got you.
All right, Kell. Thanks, brother. I appreciate this, man. So take care.
You got it.
Awesome. Chrissy?
Johnny?
Awesome. Great guy. He does contribute so much.
Yeah, right.
To the barbecue community. It's unbelievable. Yeah. How he finds enough time.
I was going to say that
during the day to do it all, but he does. But it's the passion and it's the love of it that it doesn't matter how long it takes. He's going to do it.
I was going to say, I think when you love something that much, it's not work at that point, right?
No, absolutely. That's what it is. That's what it is. But well, Chrissy,
that's it.
I hope you're enjoying your vacation as we speak.
I am very much enjoying my vacation. Who knows what I'm doing right now?
You'll let me know when it actually happens. Yeah. But, thank you. And, thank you everyone here for staying late so we can make sure we bring you a new episode every week.
Of course.
We got to do this every once in a while to make sure new content for everybody every week.
Because we're committed.
That's right. That is right. Commitment. Well, that's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, find us at all the links down below. Questions and comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. Like always, subscribe, rate, and review. Hit that share button. Spread the word. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21, Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.